Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, TikTok. How are you? Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Facebook. Hello. Good evening, TikTok. Hello. Good evening. Tonight is day 2 of our 28 days of heart healthy living and transforming of the black mind. And so, welcome. This is your girl, Dr. K, and we are inviting some folk to join us. So, as you join, let me know that you're on. Say hello. Let me know that you're on. Hello, hello. Come on in. Good evening, good evening. So we started last night, day 1. And we are on day 2. So, hey, Dawn, how are you? Hey, Mother, how are you? Good evening, good evening. Do me a favor, TikTok, Facebook, hit the like button, hit the share button. We are on day 2. So tonight, yesterday I started by sharing a little bit about my story with heart disease, and I had my daughter on as well, and she shared a little clip about her situation, her story with heart disease, and I shared a brief intro about my story. And so tonight I'm going to share signs. How do you know when you are having a heart attack or when you are in distress? I'm going to share some signs to look for. This is Heart Awareness Month, and tomorrow, which is the 3rd, is go red, wear red. So if you guys can join me in wearing something red, okay, for heart awareness. So that's tomorrow, the 3rd, is red day, if you will. All right. And so we have 28 days of this. It's 28 days of Heart Healthy Awareness Month and Transforming of the Black Mind. And I combined the two because this is Black History Month as well. And we're going to talk about how our health overall is connected to our mindset, right? And help heart healthy living is possible, and it's possible for us, right? So if you guys can do me a favor, because I want us to really get the word out there. The Bible tells us that God wants us to be well. He said, 3 John 1 and 2, Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, even as your soul prospers, right? And so he wants us to live a good life. He wants us to live an abundant life. He wants us, and that prosperity, listen, guys, is not just in money. He wants us to be well. He wants us to live healthy lives. And so um we can do that. We're supposed to present our bodies as living sacrifices, holy and acceptable unto God. So I'm not talking about people who are in situations that they can't help. I'm talking to those of us that can make choices, that can make better choices, that can make healthier choices, that can do something about our situations, right? So tonight I'm going to give you some signs. So you may want to get a pen and a piece of paper, okay, so that you can write some of these things down. Now, I'm not asking you to commit this to memory, and I'm not saying, and nor am I saying I'm a physical doctor. I am not, okay, but this is just for your knowledge, okay. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you a secret. You can Google this information. You can go to WebMD. Although we are not encouraging people to trust your health to WebMD, we're not encouraging that, okay? But what I am saying is this is what I am doing to bring awareness to the topic of taking care of your health, all right? Because it's paramount, especially for women, all right? We as women, we have a tendency, hey Dawn, we have a tendency to not realize that we are at higher risk in most cases when it comes to heart disease, okay? And so I really want us to be aware, all right? So again, TikTok, Facebook, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share, get your friends, get your family, get your loved ones, those that you want to be around for a very long time, and let's dive in. Signs of a heart attack, okay? Now, you may have heard the word angina, okay? Angina, heart attack, they work collaboratively. You may hear some people use the word angina. Some people use the word heart attack. Now, when I had my heart attack when I was in the hospital, they said that I had a heart attack. When I looked at my discharge paper, it said angina. So I was confused. And I asked the question because when I went to, so let me just say, when you have a heart attack and you are discharged, you have to go through a process called cardiac rehab, okay? And it's just what it is. It's just what it sounds like. It's rehab for your heart. And so when I looked at the paperwork, it said I had angina. So I was confused. I'm saying, what is this? They told me I had a heart attack. And so that's when I learned that the two are basically used interchangeably, right? Again, I had to educate myself because now I'm in this lifestyle of a new norm, right? And I had to learn what I could do, what I couldn't do, what I could do with limitations, what I could do, with some in moderation, and the things that I couldn't do at all, whatever the case may be. All right. So if you see angina, if you see heart attack, generally they mean the same thing. Now you may have some that are higher levels, and that may be called something else. Then you have, I'm just recapping. Then you have, of course, those people who have the different types, which is what I talked about last night. So in my case, I was diagnosed with coronary artery disease, right? And so then you get into the different types. Now, we're not going to get into that tonight because everybody's situation is different. And maybe I'll bring a health professional, like a physical doctor, actual MD, to kind of talk about some of those things. Because I don't want to advise you incorrectly where that's concerned. I can only speak about my particular situation and my situation with the coronary artery disease. And in my case, I was not able to get a stent, and some people are. So, where they are able to get surgically stents put in place to repair their heart or to help their heart. I was not, because my arteries were enlarged already, and so the stent would not stay. Okay, and so I am on a regimen of medication. And so that's my situation, okay? And so my medication is in the category of life-sustaining medication. So that means that the medication I am on is the medication. Basically, they categorize my medication as medication that is used to help keep me alive. All right? And so that's in my particular situation. Now, that is not the case in everybody's situation, but for me, that is the category that I fit in. So let's go to the signs of heart attack. Signs of a heart attack. Now, so someone says they have 6 stents. So see, everybody's situation is different, okay? Some people have heart attacks because of cholesterol. Some people have heart attacks from from clogged arteries. I didn't have any of that. Mine was a genetic disorder. So, it's 1,001 reasons, right? But generally, the signs, people will have basic signs, and let's get into them. So, some people will have pain, and you can have pain between your shoulder blades. Now, you won't necessarily have all of these symptoms. You can have any of these symptoms. And let me just say, listen to your body. Don't assume, it's this, and ignore it. If you have these symptoms and they are lasting and they are prolonged, go get it checked out, okay? You can have pain between your shoulder blades. You can have pain in your arms, your chest, your jaw. You can have pain in your left arm or your upper abdomen. Do not ignore these signs. You can have a burning sensation. That's a type of pain, all right? You can have a burning sensation. That's what I had. I had a burning sensation. I had a burning sensation that would remind you of heartburn. Okay? So that's what I thought it was. I thought it was heartburn. All right? And it can occur during rest. Again, that's what I had. When I laid down, or some nights, because I had my symptoms for a few days, I thought it was, again, heartburn. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would drink water. I was one that always kept a bottle of water near my bed. So I would wake up and I would drink the water and it would seem to subside. And so I would go to sleep. So you can have a burning sensation, right? And it may feel like heartburn. If that lingers for a while, don't do what I did. Okay, I assumed it was heartburn. And listen, it's not normal to have heartburn for 2, 3, 4 days. So if it's lingering, go get it checked out. You can have dizziness, fatigue, lightheadedness, okay? Clammy skin, cold sweats, all right? Now, I know for those of us that are over a certain age, cold sweats come as a part of menopause. So every time we break out in cold sweats, we don't want to go to the emergency, right? I get that. But if you're having cold sweats and you're having some of these other symptoms, it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay? If you're sweating. Indigestion. Now remember, I said that was what I had. I had the burning sensation that I thought was like a heartburn. So you want to pay attention to that. Nausea or vomiting. All right? And yes, some of these symptoms can be equated with other conditions. I understand that. But they shouldn't linger. And if they're lingering, you want to be diligent. You want to do your due diligence, okay? Discomfort or tightness in the neck or arm. Anxiety or chest pain, okay? Chest pressure, palpitations, all right? Now, if anybody doesn't know what palpitations are, I get them all the time. And that's a part of, I have a heart murmur as well. And so I get palpitations all the time. And it's like, it's this real rapid beat in your chest. And they last a couple minutes, but then they go away. Okay? So if that's not something you're accustomed to, you want to get that checked out. All right? Shortness of breath and shoulder discomfort. All right? These are many of the signs that your body will tell you or show you if you are at danger for having a heart attack. All right? Now, let me just say, when people are having anxiety attacks, their body can show many of these signs. So, oftentimes people will assume that they're having an anxiety attack. And really they're having a heart attack. Or they could be having a anxiety. They could be having a anxiety attack and thinking they're having a heart attack. The two mirror each other a lot of times. But because we don't know, it's best to go to the doctor and let the doctor say, okay, it's this versus that. All right? Now, I gave you the signs. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that, and let me just say this to you. Even the healthiest person can have these signs. Even the healthiest person can have a heart attack. How many times have we heard athletes that fall out? Athletes that we just heard of a football player that had a situation with his heart rate and fell out on the field, right? So it just because you have a heart attack or you have heart issues doesn't mean that you're unhealthy, right? And so a lot of times that's what people assume, that, oh, they must have had high cholesterol or they had clogged arteries. No. When I had mine, I was exercising. I was watching what I was eating. I was very active in all of those things, right? So it doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. I didn't have high cholesterol. In fact, my cholesterol was on the other end of the scale. It wasn't low, but my cholesterol was considered great. My numbers were great. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have high cholesterol. My sugar was great. All of my numbers were great. Okay. So I was considered in great health, right? So it doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. And I don't want people to feel like, okay, what am I doing wrong? But what I want to do in terms of when we talk about transforming our mindset, part of the problem is, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to speak to the other side of it. We want to make sure that we get regular checkups. And I know a lot of times, especially for our men, we don't like to go to the doctor. And we won't go to the doctor unless there's something wrong. But that's why preventative care is important. Okay? We have to know that it is important for us to go and have our numbers checked. It is important for us to go and get our blood levels checked. Okay? Much of our health challenges are detected through our blood numbers, our blood levels. So, in transforming our mindset, okay, eating better, making better choices. One thing I learned, and I know I'm a culprit, okay, I make the best iced tea. I make the best brewed iced tea. And if I had to pick a drink, that's my favorite drink, okay? But one thing I learned and doing research and changing how I eat, even though my situation wasn't a diet issue. Again, I don't need a doctor to tell me that I can't eat fried chicken every day. I don't need a doctor to tell me that I can't have a diet full of, grease and fast foods and all of that, right? But what I learned is part of what affects our health or our heart is when you have a diet that's high in sugars. The sugar leaves a lot of excess plaque. So what I started doing is taking in more water. So understand, I'm not saying that I don't drink my iced tea, but what I started doing is drinking more water. And I don't drink as much of it as I used to. Because what I realized is that it's up to me. Do I want to live or do I want to die? Right? And it's not just about living, but what type of life do I want to live? Okay? And so we have to make those conscious, calculated, intentional decisions about our health. It's more than just knowing the signs, but what are we going to do now that we know? When we know better, we do better, right? My family, everybody in my family has high blood pressure. To date, I'm the only one that doesn't have it. So I'm conscious about my salt intake, okay? Again, high blood pressure is a catalyst for heart disease, right? So one of my goals is to make sure, or to try to the best of my ability, to keep my blood pressure low. So I'm not a person that adds a lot of salt once the food is cooked. And recently, I would say about 3-4 months ago, I moved from the white salt to pink salt. And pink salt is better for you, okay? So it's little changes like that, okay? So now I'm talking about transforming our mindset. It's little changes like that we will see goes a long way in terms of our diet and the way that it shows up in our health. Am I saying that we have to be drastic? I'm not saying that. If you are a person that has to go drastic, so be it. That's not me, okay? However, what I have noticed is that the little changes make a big difference, okay? So I used to be swollen all the time. And one of my maintenance activities, because of my situation, is I have to weigh myself every single day. Or at least I'm supposed to, right? I have to weigh myself every day because I can't gain but so much weight. So, and the purpose of weighing myself is to make sure that I'm not retaining too much fluid. So, what I've noticed is when I'm not using that salt, then I'm not retaining all that fluid. So those are the things, just little changes like that can help us on this journey. So heart healthy living. Last night, as I said, I was on late. I fell asleep and I slept longer than I had anticipated. And when I woke up, it was late. Well, I hadn't had dinner and I was hungry. So I was going to eat one of my healthy choice entrees. But it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I said, should I eat? I was going through, should I eat this? Should I not? Because it was late. And again, I made a decision not to eat it. What I had instead was I made a fruit parfait. So I had yogurt and some fruit and some granola. That's what I ate. So that was my dinner last night, right? Why? Because the entree, it had chicken and some other stuff in it. And even though it was a healthy choice entree, it still, I felt, was a little heavy to have at that time of night. Okay? So these are the things that when we're talking about heart healthy, we want to protect our ticker. Because if the ticker stop, that's it. Right? So those are our tips for day 2. And we went over signs of a heart attack. Now, if it's anything that you guys have missed, you can always catch the replay. But, we have 28 days. This is day 2. And so tomorrow will be day 3. Don't forget to wear your red. Okay? And, hopefully throughout this journey, it will help. If it doesn't help you, maybe it'll help someone you love. But, stay with me while we're on this journey. I will be sharing some recipes, some things that I learned as I was on my journey. I've been on this journey now. Well, actually, I've been on it all my life. But I've been really serious about the journey for the last 8 years now. So, and wanting to bring awareness to it because of my story. So stay with me and we will prayerfully grow together, maybe even shed some pounds as we're going through our process. All right. So this is your girl, Dr. K. I'll see you tomorrow as we are on day 3. Do me a favor. Let's have some fun. Take a picture of you in your red and tag me. TikTok, you can tag me or post it and send it to me, Dr. Kia, number 1 on TikTok. And Facebook, you can take a picture of you in your red and tag me on it. And let's have some fun. Everybody wearing their red tomorrow for Go Red, okay? I love you, and you can't do a thing about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Invite somebody to join us. And also, set your notifications. So when I go live, you will get the notification that I'm live, okay? Talk to you later. I love you, and you can't do a thing about it.